Howdy doody, cats and kittens.
Sup?
What it do?
What it did? What it done did?
Oh, how is everybody tonight?
I'm hinky dory.
Other than my tummy, I'm all right.
Other than your tummy?
Yeah.
He ate grapes and they weren't agreeing with him.
Like a whole bag of grapes. That's like a pound of grapes.
Breezy's got a rumbly in his tumbly.
Yeah.
Caused by grapes and Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Cool Whip.
Yes. You got to have the Cool Whip with all that stuff.
It's like a one fruit salad is what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. What it is. Yeah.
Oh, he would.
It's the only one of the only, I guess if you could call it a condiment, that my cat will share with me. Like if she knows I'm eating Cool Whip, she's like, "Hey, what's up, bro? Come hang out with you for a little bit." And
I can eat a little bit of Cool Whip. I just, when you have other stuff available that's better tasting, like the stuff in the can, the Ready Whip,
Mm.
or if you make your own whipped cream, it's even better.
They don't put the nitrous oxide in the cans of Cool Whip anymore, or the Ready Whip or whatever. Like I tried it. I tried it like 5 years ago. I was like, "Oh yeah," and I was like, "What? It doesn't work anymore." What?
No, I mean I knew it was a thing, but I'd never done it.
Oh, it was great back in the day. When I was a kid, I'd have my mom would be pissed because there's literally you can fill a whole can of Cool Whip, but there's no gas left in it. I'd catch an ass whooping for that one.
I guess so.
Damn it, Breezy, you've been huffing all the Cool Whip.
Yeah. Exactly.
Go get some spray paint like a normal delinquent.
Right. The gold or silver, that's the good stuff.
Oh my word.
Yeah. Now those people are easy to spot, I'm telling you.
Because they've got spray paint all over them?
Yes.
No, I actually really
lock up the spray paint now. You have to go get somebody to get the spray paint for you.
Yeah, they started doing that down here. Well, at least I remember they did that in the, I want to say mid to late 90s. Like they would lock it up and you had to have an ID to buy it.
Yeah.
I wasn't into graffiti. I wasn't huffing fumes. It was a dead.
I had a cousin who did that and got on, and he went as far as like gasoline, and he literally fried his brain out. Like you talk to him now, and he's, well, even back then, so yeah, kids.
Yeah, don't do it, kids.
Pick something better. I know it's cheap, but do yourself a favor.
Yeah, you remember I remember the rubber cement in elementary school. The fumes coming off of that crap.
Yep.
You got like a 6-year-old ready to pass out for lack of oxygen because they were using the rubber cement. It was strong.
Yeah. Do y'all remember them making the copies on the Whirlybird copying machines? They would dunk.
I remember the
smelling the ink on it.
Yeah.
I remember the machine, but I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember smelling.
I don't remember that. I remember the carbon copies and the carbon paper.
This was it was basically the same thing, but it had a drum. You put the image, the whatever you were copying on, and it rolled over the papers and spit it out. And it was wet ink. And I mean, every time they'd hand out a paper, every kid in the class.
I remember the smell. The smell. You had to hand crank it.
Hand crank it. Yeah.
Well, I
think they were
the electric ones, but
I don't like we used to have to hand crank the engines back in the day.
Yeah.
Get in the front.
My apologies.
Which reminds me, that favor you want me to do when you pass?
Yes.
Netherworlds.
Yes.
I'm going to do it on one condition.
Hmm.
If I'm allowed to put a wind-up crank on the front of your coffin when I play the music.
Well, how about that would be good. Yeah. You dress as the Grim Reaper and start cranking the.
Yeah. Pop goes the wheels.
Everybody waits.
Yeah. You give me a little bit time alone with you, and I can make you pop up out of the car.
No, it's okay. No. Ugh, gosh, I don't like touching dead bodies. I can't imagine you would either.
They ain't gonna hurt you.
No, they're not going to hurt you. I just don't like the feel.
Yeah.
Waxy and cold. So anyway, on that note, on the note of dead skin, let's see. What are we going to talk about tonight, y'all? Because guys, honestly, I didn't have a topic. I just saw some legends, some Apache legends, actually. I was just kind of perusing those. And I noticed that Apache have a Rockman legend, and so do the Cherokee. And again, we're talking about, not that, they never cross paths. I'm sure, they did at some point. But, the Cherokee have a legend of Rockman also. But the Cherokee legend is more of, he's not good or evil. He just is. And he goes and he gathers wayward, like evil spirits, or people that serve evil spirits, or people that are, doing like black magic, let's say, black, whatever you want to call it. And he goes and gets them and, brings them back to the other side, where the Apache Rockman is like an ambush predator. I just noticed that one, so I don't know a ton about it, but it was just really interesting to me, and it got me thinking about the Southwest and things that go bump in the night in the desert. Because there's a lot of weird stuff going on in the desert, y'all. I know we've all heard some crazy stories of stuff that goes on in the desert, if you have not witnessed it yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is true.
Yeah. There's UFO stories. You've got, obviously, the Native American aspect. There's ghosts, and the desert itself is just creepy if you've ever been out there at night. It's vast and dark and cold. You wouldn't think the desert was cold at night, but it's dang cold at night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'm reading this one Apache legend, and it's Killing of the Monsters.
Oh yeah,
it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, they're all great. If you get a chance to read like native creation legends, or just legends in general, they're all pretty interesting. You're going to hear something cool. And I'm all about, making sure that the stories stay active.
Mm-hmm.
And get the story out there for everybody. But, when Joe and I were talking about what to do, he had mentioned aliens or Men in Black, which is a good topic too, because let's be honest, there's lots of UFOs sighted out in the desert.
Yeah. Art Bell was all about that.
I wonder why it's so prolific out in the desert.
Isolation.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
That's my guess.
Yeah, you got less of a population, and so you can be a little bit more sneaky with it, Same with the oceans and whatnot. If you buy the USOs and all that stuff, that's just where I'd go with it. If I'm in your backyard trying to sneak around your house, I'm going to stay in the tree line, where you're not going. I'm not going to come like right out by your barbecue pit.
But why not, Joe?
When we started talking about the desert and stuff, I was looking up desert, and I ran across the Egyptian god Set, which is the god of the desert, and was reading about him and Horus and Iris and but when they all got sideways and everything, it's pretty crazy. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Sure.
All about the Egyptians.
Okay, so Set is a god of desert storm, disorder, violence, foreigners, in an ancient Egyptian religion. In ancient Greek, the god's name is given as Seth. Set has a positive role where he accompanied Ra on. When I first read this, I thought it said barbecue, but it's not. It's barbecue. Repel Apep.
The god of barbecue was in Egyptian times.
Yeah. So now we know, but to repel Apep, the serpent of chaos. Set had a vital role as a reconciled combatant. He was lord of the Red Land, the desert, where he was the balance to Horus, Horus's role as lord of the Black Land, which is the fertile land. In the Osiris myth, the most important Egyptian myth, Set is portrayed as the usurper who murdered and mutilated his own brother, Osiris. Osiris's sister wife, Isis, reassembled his corpse, resurrected her dead brother / husband. With the help of the goddess Nephthys, the resurrection lasted long enough to conceive his son and their heir, Horus. Horus sought revenge upon Set, and many of the ancient Egyptian myths describe their conflicts. So, yeah.
Okay. It's cool.
And it goes on, but I mean,
Oh, I'm sure. I used to love ancient Egypt, all the mythology surrounding all those gods, because it was just interesting to me. It was such a pantheon.
Yeah.
I was a Greek mythology kid, man. By like 5th grade, I knew you couldn't tell me anything I didn't know about Greek mythology.
Well, Set's parents were named Geb and Nut.
Okay. Geb and Nut. Sounds like they were from, I don't know.
Deep it's either Geb or Jeb. However you want, down south it'd be Jeb and Nut.
Sounds right.
Yeah. One's talking too much.
Especially for sister wives. I mean, sounding an awful lot of Deep South to me.
I didn't realize that Anubis was his offspring. So Set's offspring.
Okay. That's cool.
Set is a beast not identified with any known animal, although it could be seen as resembling a sulik, an aardvark, an African wild dog, a donkey, a hyena, a jackal, a pig, an antelope, a giraffe, or a fennec fox.
Oh, human hybrids. What they are.
Yeah, that was interesting too. Like they all have the heads of creatures. So
yeah.
Seems warish, but it does kind of look like an aardvark, doesn't it?
Yeah, it do.
I'm trying to think of what an aardvark looks like, and I'm drawing a blank.
Do you remember the aardvark from the Saturday morning cartoons? Come on.
It's got a long snout face.
It's an anteater.
Okay. There you go. All right. I'm back in the game.
Give me a second, guys. My cats are in the other room tearing each other up. So talk about aardvarks.
So I was reading this this Apache myth, the killing of the monsters, and there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to pronounce these names. Nyanisagani, came where elk had been killing people. He could not get near it, although he tried to approach it from every side. Then Another person came to him to be his partner, my companion. He said, I will gnaw off the hair on his breast for you. Having done this, he returned, saying, now go to him. Nayagasani went to him, made motions 4 times, and then shot him. He hid in one of the holes that his partner had made. The elk broke out of the uppermost hole. Nagasani went to the next hole. The elk broke that out also. He then went into mother, which elk also broke out. He went into the bottom tunnel. Just as elk broke out of this, he fell down dead. The partner came up to him and said, the breast will be mine. He skinned it and took the hide. He also chopped off one of the horns, filled 2 blood vessels with blood, and spread the hide in the sun until it was dry. He started away toward the eagle when he came to him. He wrapped the elk hide about himself and went out into the open place. When he swooped down, the eagle attempted to drive his talons into him, but could not penetrate the hide. He flew up without getting a hold of him. He came to him again, but failed to get his talons in again. He flew up again. He came back, and having failed, flew away again. Then he came back and drove in his talons. He flew away to his home with the man. He brought him to his young. When they bent their heads over him, he said, Father, when we put our heads down to it, it says, one of them said, do not mind it. Go ahead and eat. The air coming out of the wound makes that noise. Then the blood flowed through the opening, and the old eagle flew away. Oh, it goes on and on and on. Good grief.
That lost me.
Mm-hmm. Yep, me too.
What was it supposed to be the story of?
The killing of the monsters. The Apache legend.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to read that. I have a link to it, but I just didn't have time to read it before tonight.
It's worded like it was maybe taken as directly translated as possible.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Pronouns. Use them. Adjective. So, okay. Let's see. So there is another creature that I read about that was pretty cool. And I'm going to, let's see if I can get us all over on the third side. It's this dude. Where are we? Him. Or it, I should say. Big owl. He's like a big boogeyman. And owls. I don't know. Like Lechusa is owl woman. This dude's like big owl dude.
Right.
Yeah.
Owls are a harbinger of death and all that.
And, like he's a reoccurring villain in Apache tales, apparently. He's described obviously as a huge owl-like creature, kind of humanoid, with sharp claws and an appetite for human flesh, especially children, of course, because we want to tell those stories to keep the kids from wandering off.
Yeah.
And this is interesting. He travels at night, which I guess that's not too interesting, but he is said to mimic the voices of people the victims know in order to lure them out. So that's like a theme that kind of stretches across a bunch of
lore,
like
Native American lore.
Yeah. Hey,
what weirded me out recently? I just saw it was somebody there. It was on like YouTube or whatever, like a short. But someone like pointed or put their finger in an owl's chest, and it sinks like. Yeah, and I was like, what? Like, I don't know, it just gave me the heebie-jeebies. Like, I was like, why? I was like, he just went right through the owl. But like, they're not to shift gears, but their skeletons are like the size of pigeons, but they're, huge freaking birds.
They're all fluffed out, man.
Yeah, they're all fluff. Yeah.
We
Have you
found
ever
an owl crime scene last time we were out at Dogman Ranch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a bunch
Something
of
had killed an owl and tore it apart.
Oh my gosh.
That's where I got this.
Okay.
Owl feather.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that sucks for Mr. Owl.
Yeah, there was like just a bunch of feathers and one wing intact. That was it.
Oh my God.
So
Did it look animalistic or humanistic?
No, well, I think it was an animal, whatever tore it up.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't imagine there's a lot of people running around out there because it's pretty vast.
Yeah. There's tweakers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It would have had to have crossed a lot of private land and like cattle. Like they probably would have run into a bull or two on the way, I would imagine.
Yeah, not only that, once you get in there, you got to find your way out if you don't know your way around.
Yeah, we couldn't find our way out.
How big is this spot?
2,000 acres.
Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that's the same kind of thing we're talking about the desert. You know what I mean? Like when you're out there like that, you're freaking out there. Kind of like we were talking about in the last one of the last shows we were doing, where we were talking about having enough provisions and such for in case you get caught out. Because I mean, it's hard for when I was a city kid and I first came out here to the country. Just the family's property alone, it was 10 acres. That to me was like vast. Like I could imagine that much foliage and woods and but I mean city blocks, no problem. You can go 20, 30 city blocks or miles all day long, and because you can spot landmarks, you can spot buildings, right? Out there, it's kind of like
landmarks if you know what you're looking at in the country. You can spot
right. Yeah, like parts of rivers and bends and stuff like that. But I mean, I'd be total Blair Witch and be like, we're in the same part of we just went in circles. Well, like yeah, I'd be totally
Yeah, it's I guess it's a lot different. I feel way more at ease in the country than I do in the middle of a city. That's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like out in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, it's weird that transition. Like, because when I was a city kid, when we first moved out to the country, like I couldn't sleep because there wasn't headlights and cars and people yelling outside. Like it was too quiet. So I was in an uncomfortable stage. Now, if I go stay out in the city, like now I'm like, would y'all shut the hell up? Get away from my Airbnb.
Well, you get used to, a certain sound. It takes a while to
your environment. Yeah, you get comfortable in your environment. But I still, like you were saying, Monica, once you get to really, really far isolation, to me, it's just creepy. Like, I don't care. Like, you get to like
Thank you, Scott.
Like out in Big Bend, like Big Bend to me, borderline scares the hell out of me. It's like, that's because,
well, you have that megala fear, right? You're afraid of big things. And like a big emptiness is a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I can understand where that would make you uneasy.
Yeah, there's a terrifying. I never thought of it, because I've never been on one. But some dude, he was on a cruise, and he just went out and took he was taking like video of like everybody partying on the cruise and all the lights and everything, and everyone's kicking it and having a good time. And then he's like, does a 180 out to vast nothingness, and I was like, Sweet Jesus, don't you do that to me.
Jiminy Crimminy, dude.
Yeah, I was like, I never thought of that because you're thinking of the structure that you're on, not that structure is a spit in a 5-gallon bucket. You know what I mean? It's you're nothing out there compared to everything around you.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've never been on a cruise. I don't particularly care to go on a cruise either. But I just don't know how I would do. Like, I don't know how my claustrophobia would do it. And I think a lot of people think of claustrophobia as like confined, tiny little spaces. It's any restrictive, for me anyway. It's any restrictive space. Like if I can't walk out this door and walk down the street if I feel like it, I like something in my head starts turning the wrong way. Like that's why I freak out on airplanes. It's not because I'm afraid to fly. It's that confined space thing. And a cruise ship is essentially the same thing, even though they're giant, you're still confined. Like it's not like I can, like if I need to get off the ship, like I don't like the motion, I can't just like I'm gonna go for a walk it off. You can't. I mean,
it's like, okay, this ride is over. Let me off.
Yeah, helicopter me out. Hit the panic button. Helicopter me out.
Yeah, I need help.
Help!
Wait,
help.
no, don't chopper me out. I'm scared.
Put me in the hulls of the ship in a tiny room with no windows, like close to the whatever they are, the because they have the big levelers. What are they called? Balancers, something. Like to keep the ship from doing too much of that.
Yeah, it's like the inertial dampers they use in Star Trek.
Yeah. Yeah, like that.
Exactly.
But in the ocean.
Exactly like
Without the, what kind of crystal is it?
Dilithium.
Yeah, it starts with
dilithium crystal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah, like that, but without space in the dilithium crystals.
Yeah.
Cotton, we've got to recharge the dilithium crystals.
I'm giving her all I got.
There's a hole anymore.
I'm an engineer, not a miracle worker.
Yeah, I'm a doctor, not a miracle.
Not a bricklayer.
I'm a doctor, not an engineer.
Because I got to, mister. Yeah. So, okay, I think we covered this before, if I'm not mistaken. But would you rather be caught in the vastness of space or in the vastness of the ocean?
No.
What do you mean? It depends what you mean by caught.
Yeah.
Like you're out there and there's no.
Am I on a flotation device?
We'll go either raft or submarine. Because I think submarine would be scarier. Yes. You know what I mean? Like,
put me in a submarine all day long. That's what I wanted to do when I first wanted to join the military.
But like, even in like those, like, what is that? The giant trench and all that, where there's like unknown life forms, Mariana Trench, the Marinara Trench.
That's it.
Full of spaghetti monster.
Cheese sticks or the submarines.
I saw a giant ravioli. Yeah.
You're just waiting for the blue meanies and the Beatles to float by in their yellow submarine.
Exactly. Yeah.
Get your gas mix wrong, you will.
Mm-hmm.
See, to me, that would be the more frightening because of the.
Thank you for pointing that out, Sparky.
So kind. Our listeners.
Yeah, nowadays I would be like, Winnie the Pooh stuck in a damn hole, but.
So I don't know, Breezy. What would you rather be stuck in? I choose no. Neither one.
If there was such a thing as space, it would be space.
Yeah, space scares me, but the ocean scares me too.
But
I'd rather go to space, like because there's nothing out.
Nothing to do with space. That shit's scary.
I'm not worried about a giant space monster you know, but
No, I'm not worried about space monsters either. It's terrifying enough without that shit in there.
But if I see a bloop go through my submarine window, like or pass by, like, yeah, no, game over. Get me out of here. No, I'm not dealing with it. There's too much unknown, you know.
Well, really, I mean, if you go deep enough in the ocean, it's like being out in space. Like,
yeah, until you cross that giant squid.
Well, micrometeorites have crossed the path of micrometeorites. You want that coming at you? That, you know, like, you know, you get microwaves shooting out. You get, you know, you cross the event horizon of a black hole. Like, there's so much shit. I'm good.
Okay, yeah, all right. I didn't add that into factor. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, black holes, if they're active, you can see, right? Because I forget what they call it. I mean, there's the event horizon, but as the matter gathers, it moves so fast, it creates like visible light.
Yep. It's because
I can't figure out, because I mean, it must be right at the event horizon, because once it goes in, light can't escape that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. In theory, yeah.
Yeah. So screw that. Screw that. Don't want anything to do with it. Don't want my.
I don't
want X-rays. I don't want microwaves. I don't want to get near a quasar, a pulsar, a black hole.
Right. And you know, now that you open that up in my nugget, thanks a lot. Like just the idea of how large stuff is, you know, supposedly in space. Like, if I came across as big as our sun is, but one that was like 40 million times that size, like, that would just be ultra mega. My heart would just give out. I'd chug a bottle of whiskey and die. Not dealing with that.
No, put me under the water.
But I don't want to go down there either. I don't want to go down there either. Stuff's trying to eat me. I'm good.
Oh, you know, I was thinking about this earlier when you said the topic, not to shift gears, you know, once again, but I wonder if there's an overlaying map of UFO, kind of like we did with the 411 and the cavernous systems. Mm-hmm. I wonder if there's a continuation with that and the UFO sightings over cavernous systems. You know what I mean? I wonder if that's
like,
I wonder if that's
I think if there isn't, that would be an excellent thing for somebody to do.
Right. Yeah.
That would be some very interesting data. Hey, Don,
because a lot of them
doing anything. Why don't you whip that out?
Whip it out. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, because if you think about it, like, a lot of them do have parallels, like Mount Shasta and, you know, all those, which are both, you know, missing 411 locations, as well as, you know, hollowed earth locations,
mm-hmm.
and UFO sightings. You know,
that would be interesting. Text is on it. Hey, Maddie.
Let's see here. There's one for UFO hotspot map correlates to dark sky locations.
Okay. I imagine they're considerably easier to see in a dark sky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense. I don't see anything that has correlation of UFO sightings versus deep ocean spots.
Thank you, Mid-South Sasquatch. I agree.
Hey, Mid-South, how you doing, man? I hadn't seen you in a while.
I agree 100%.
I don't know what he said, but
he said no one's ever been beyond the crystalline structure that covers the earth known as the firmament. I know I spelled that wrong. Okay.
Well, no wonder Breezy's agreeing with him.
That is why.
Oh, it's actually pretty funny. My cousin called me out of the blue, and I forgot how the subject transitioned into the show. And because me and him were going off on different theories and conspiracy theories, whatever people want to call it. And he's like, and I was talking about the flat Earth thing. I'm like, yeah, I finally came out on, he's like, oh, he's like, I know, I can see Monica's face every time you talk about it. She gets this look like, you got to be freaking kidding me. And I was like, yeah, I never noticed it. But I was like,
I think we're pointing it out. She's real subtle with those looks.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to actually have him on sometime soon because he's been doing a lot of research into our genealogy, I guess you could say, or whatever, and gotten apparently I got almost as much Cherokee in me as I have Apache in me. So through our grandmother and grandfather on my mother's side. So yeah, I was like, huh.
I think that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And he was actually talking about the one of the main reasons why I wanted to have him on is he traced back some of the very first what would you call it? Realizations and articles about the first serial killers. And one of the very first serial killers was right here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah,
and I want to say it was
the one that was killing the maids and stuff, the slaves.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the milkmaid axe murder that some people, oh, God bless it, these cats, think that it was like, was it Jack the Ripper? Somebody. Oh no, the axe murderer from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, guys, I got to keep turning my camera off.
No, you're good. But yeah, I thought that'd be a pretty interesting subject because he when he nerds out on something, like he goes to the depths of the rabbit hole. He doesn't just brush over him. He's like, yeah, he's one of those very retainable knowledge type of cats. And he'll just, like, when he went down the mafia rabbit hole, like, he could tell you freaking everything in the world about the mafia and the Italian mob and the Black Hand and all this. And I'm like, dude, where do you get the time from? Like, crazy stuff.
The servant girl murders.
There you go.
It's the Axeman in Austin.
1885. It was right. It actually was right as Austin had became the capital, I think, and they were growing, and they didn't have the police force to handle everything right. And it was he was going in people's houses and dragging them out and killing them in the backyard. You know. And it didn't really get any attention until I think there was 2 white girls that were killed, and they blamed it on their husbands. But yeah, supposedly they're not the ones that did it.
Sure.
Mid-South, you live in Austin now? Damn.
Who lives in Austin?
Mid-South.
Oh. Breezy.
Hey, anybody from North Carolina, let me know. Hello, Madeline. Oh, is Rockin' Roy in here? Rockin' Roy.
Yep, Rory's here.
She's badass.
A bunch of our people are badass in chat.
That is true.
Yeah.
Where's my buddy Finch? He was in here. He said he was tired, but he was in here.
He's in here earlier, but he said he had to get up and go to work early.
Oh, bummer.
What up, Maddie?
Mickey G.
So my friend told me a freaky story about when he was driving through the desert at night with his uncle and his cousin. And I mean, I say desert. West Texas, that's desert to me. Like far West Texas. It's a nice flat strip of ugly. It can't stand it out there. But he was driving the oil fields because he used to work in the oil fields. And I don't know what he was doing, but it was like 1, 2 in the morning. He was out. His uncle was driving. He was in the passenger seat. And they were driving down one of the roads with his cousin was in the middle. And he said that there was a person that they saw, and the person started running alongside the car.
Yeah,
like
no.
running alongside the truck. Like keeping up with the truck. And I said, well, what did they look like? And he goes, because I was telling him about my dog man. Well, now you joke, but there are things that will keep up with the trucks out there. And I was telling him about my dog man encounter, and I told him I was reluctant to tell him because I saw something nobody will believe I saw. And he was like, I got one too. So he goes, if you tell me, I'll tell you what I saw. So I told him like the gist of what I saw. I didn't want to get deep into the story because like people who aren't into this, just you sound like a complete nutcase.
Right.
And he's like, oh, he goes, I believe you. He goes, and then he told me the story. You know, they were driving. Dude started running beside the car. And I said, well, when he looked, you know, he was like running beside, kind of looking to the car and keeping up with them and trying to get ahead of them. And I said, well, what did he look like? And he goes, he didn't have a face. You know, it was like blurry, like where the features should be. He's like, he did not have a face, but he was keeping up with the car. And I said, well, that's scary. He goes, yeah, you think? He goes, it scared the crap out of all of us. He goes, my uncle just floored it, was making that truck go as fast as he could down those roads. And it stayed with him for like 10 minutes and then it peeled off into the desert.
Yeah.
So,
good on
I
that.
didn't say that I wouldn't have went, okay, you want to play, you know?
Right. Yeah. Sideswiped it.
Yeah, but do you want that clinging to you? If it's able to run fast enough to keep up with the truck, what makes you think it couldn't cling to the dang?
And just, you know what popped in my head? Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride, lady.
I saw a meme for that the other day.
No, I had an equal but opposite experience on that. It was back in like the mid 90s when I was first like coming out and hanging out in Bastrop area. And it was before Bastrop got big. I think there was like a McDonald's, you know, but this is, you know, I guess what you would consider the rural part of Bastrop. And it was like 3 in the morning. And me and my buddy were driving, you know, down this freaking farm road out in the middle of nowhere. No houses anywhere around. It's all like ranch and field and stuff. And we're actually coming around, which is an actual filming of a filming location for Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I didn't know till decades later. But so we're coming around this bend, and then there's a dropped hill, and there was this guy, and this is like 3 in the morning. Nothing's out there. There's no lights. There's no houses. You know, it's like you have to go 15 minutes doing 65 miles an hour to get from, you know, one stoplight to where you next see civilization. And there was this dude standing on the freaking side of the road, like staring at the road, you know, so basically staring sideways and like all black, and had like almost like a trench coat, but it wasn't a trench coat. It was just completely black head to toe, just staring. So like when I look out my passenger window, he's like staring right at me as we drive by. And I was like, yeah, no, I'm good on this. You know, like it was one of the weirdest things I ever seen. But like, what was he doing out there? There's nothing out there. You know, he had to have walked, you know, 15, 20 miles just to be. And why was he not like walking down the road? Like,
right.
yeah, I don't know. It was just very out of place, and it just sent, chills down your spine. It was like Abby normal, very much Abby normal.
Not Jason.
Yeah.
You didn't pull over and ask the guy what was going on?
Hell no.
And try to hit him with your car like Beck suggested. They hit the dude running beside it.
Yeah, no, I did not. We did.
Just give him a
it
little
was.
nudge, see if he's real. Just
Yeah, it was one of those things where as soon as we got to the house, I was packing my botanicals and trying to forget that I ever saw that. It was freaky, man. Yeah, it was really weird, and it was one of the few times that I had been out, in this direction. So it was I don't know. It was a new location, so it was just I don't know, man. Just rubbed me the wrong way. Seemed very paranormalish to me. Kind of like if a Men in Black type of dude was just standing out in the middle of nowhere, watching you drive by when you're the only car on the road at 3 a.m.
yeah.
Odd.
It would be creepier is if like the next night they were just standing at the end of your driveway,
Yeah,
at your place, like those creepy twins from that movie, the creepy like white-haired kids, just
right.
just
See, in Texas, that's why we have firearms. Come
step
stand
foot
at
on
the
my
edge
leg,
of my
you
driveway.
little
Like,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
told
a
you,
whole
get off my
nother-
lawn.
Get off my lawn.
Get off the grass.
So how do you think that, I mean, have you guys watched Family Guy?
Yeah.
Not if I can help it.
So the pervy old dude, can you imagine like creepy ass
Pervert.
kids encountering him?
Yeah.
How would that standoff go?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no, what?
Mr. and Mrs. Knack, they're at the emergency room with his wife. COPD is acting up. Round of her meds and never. I'm so sorry. We'll be praying.
Yeah, sorry to hear that. COPD is a rough thing. That's what my father passed away from. It's not an easy thing to endure.
Nope.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, Kimber's dad
I
passed
light up
away
a
today, by the
cigarette.
way.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen her in chat for a while, but Kimber's dad passed away today.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kimber. I am sorry to hear that.
I saw Madeline ask when the next time we're going to be in Austin. I live pretty much in Austin. Well, I'm like 20 minutes from the airport.
So I need to get out in the field more. So I am open to Austin adventures, especially since I'm going to have a lot of time on my hands here pretty soon. So,
oh, don't you worry about that. I'm gonna have you running around.
Well, it has to be places I want to go, or I'm not going.
Wow, thanks. Thank you, Ridge Runner.
Thank you. That is awesome. So, I go to click the show and then it moves up and you end up clicking the wrong one. Sorry about that. Thank you, Ridge Runner. So I am open to adventures because I feel my adventure stories are stale. I need some new ones. I need to get out there because the only way you get cool action adventure stories is to get out where the action
Go do them.
happening. Yep. Yeah.
Well, we need to get you to go actually spend some time in Brown Springs.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I don't know if I really want to spend a lot of time during pinata spider season in Brown Springs. Especially, I've got the Jason McLean level spider terror happens. I just, I don't
Well,
know
how
how
about we put that? How about we put that in the books for the fall?
that works. Like once all the
Okay.
spiders have gone back to hell where they belong, we can.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but a majority of them. I will camp in the ice to not have to worry about those things. And I don't think people understand. They're not just like
No.
cute little these things knock your window.
When you hit them.
I mean, you hear a audible as you hit them, like you hear it. And then they shake their fists at you as you drive away.
Why I oughta.
I got you right, lady.
Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride.
And if you're super lucky, some of them might cling enough to say hi to you in your driveway when you get home.
Yeah.
So, yes, I will spend time in Burn Springs. I don't want to spend that much time during pinata spider season.
Where's Brown Springs at?
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
No.
it's right on the Red River on the border with Oklahoma and Texas.
Yep.
It's about an hour from me. It's not far.
Well, when y'all do come down to Austin, we're definitely gonna have to go grub at the gas station.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And get some barbecue and hang
I
out.
mean, we can put like a quick weekend together, and you point out where we need to go investigate.
I can do that. There's actually
Ross and Maddie and get the whole crew together and go out and do something.
We could go investigate that dollhouse museum.
Yeah.
We got invited to do that.
There's a good couple. There's one that's like right. I think it's called Mesa Park. It used to be the only road from like where Austin Bergstrom International Airport is now, but it used to be a military base. It was just Bergstrom Air Force Base. And that was like the only way in and out through the south side of that location. And there's a bridge there that's supposed to be mad paranormal-ish activity going on. And the only way you can get to it now is through walking, because it was like, I think it was so old that it was originally started as like a wagon trail and then eventually got paved, and now it's completely taken over by the park. But yeah, so I'd say within 20-25 minutes from, in a circumference from the gas station, there's probably good 4 or 5 paranormal locations we could check out.
Cool.
And I think pretty soon when the weather cools down a little bit, there's going to be the activity at the gas station is going to ramp up, where we're going to have a bunch of horror movie actors and actresses coming out, and they do autographs and all that stuff. But really, the whole main thing is just a big party between Bigfoot, horror people, freaking whole 9 yards, like paranormal people. Like you'll make good connections and network. There's a lot of them that come out to those spots, or come out to that spot when we have those events.
There's got I know there is. There's some places around Austin that's had dogman activity.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What is it? East 290's got quite a few of them. Yeah. It's like, and I think I've said this before. Yeah, I mentioned this before. It's like Bigfoot stays on one side of 35 and Dogman stays on the other.
So we'll camp on 35.
Right. Yeah. But there have been I've actually read stories about like that same kind of concept where people will be driving like North 35 from like San Marcos towards the Austin area, and Dogman will literally be running alongside the car and then leap over the median and be on the other side of the highway before they know it.
For real? That's like, and 100 people didn't see that? Is there like a slow period of traffic in that region?
Yeah, in the middle of the
35?
night. In the middle of the night, yeah.
Okay. I would imagine there's a fair amount of, not like packed, but a fair amount of traffic, like around the clock.
It depends. And it depends on what part of the highway you're on too, also, because like everyone gets off like so say if you're coming from San Antonio towards Austin, not everyone's going to Austin. A lot of cats that get off in Shirts area or New Braunfels, and so it'll thin in between the more major towns.
I mean, I could see, okay, so Shirts, and then there's a town like east of Shirts, and I forget, it starts with the
Cibolo.
Yeah. Yeah, Universal right there.
Pretty rural.
Yeah, Universal City.
Yeah, but I mean, Cibolo wasn't super tightly packed. It seemed like there was acreage around out there.
It is now, because that's where Woody lives. And when I went to go see him, because I was just dropping Jen and the kiddo off with her mom, and I was going to my uncle's in Seguin. And so I stopped in Cibolo to just say what's up. And you wouldn't even believe your eyes. It's like cookie cutter houses, like the big 2-story that are like 5 feet away from each other, as far as the eye can see. I'm like, dude, what the hell happens? Because I remember when it was just downtown Cibolo, and you had like Harmon's, and then before you know, you're on what, I think it's 78 or 79, and then you go to Marion and all those, but you're out in the middle of vast nothingness, and now it's kind of melded together. Like when y'all came down through for the San Antonio conference, I'm pretty sure you saw like the same kind of thing. Used to be, it was like Round Rock, then Pflugerville, then Austin, and there was like big breaks of nothing in between. And now it's just like one big, it all bled together. Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to tell where one starts and one stops anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's been years since I've been down there.
Yeah.
Because the last time I went to San Antonio, I went, I don't know, it's 2-something out of Fort Worth. I took the long route because I can't stand 35 scares me. Like, I really feel like I'm going to get hurt on 35. Like, I don't want to be on 35 ever if I can help it.
Yeah, we went 35 all the way down when we went.
Yeah, that's what we did. But it had been years since, like I said, it had been years since I've been down 35. And I remember, like Breezy said, like there were clumps of towns on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did not recognize that because I was like, oh shit, we're in Austin already.
But speaking of the like we were talking earlier about UFOs being more over dense and isolated places, I've seen more UFO activity in like Austin and Round Rock, when it was city, like than I ever have out in the country. I think I've had maybe 3, maybe 4 UFO sightings out here, out in the Bastrop area. And when I was a kid, I mean, I'd see 5 or 6 UFOs in the summertime, out in like North Austin or South Austin. They were everywhere. So, yeah, that kind of sparked just a thought in my head about it.
I don't know that I want to see a UFO, dude. Like, I have a very strong desire to not have any kind of contact with the UFO. Just because traditionally, when a higher civilization encounters a lesser civilization, the lesser civilization is usually screwed, right?
Yeah.
I don't doubt that, we're already screwed in so many ways. But I don't want to be on the receiving end of that, until like maybe something happens in mass. Like, I don't want to be like picked out of a crowd.
Right.
To be able to see, I'm good. I don't want to see a UFO. I don't want alien contact. I'm okay. I am okay.
When I was a kid, I thought it was cool. Like the first couple times I saw him, it was like shocking. But I was still young enough. You know, you're talking third, fourth grade was the first time I think I saw him out in North Austin, and I don't know, like yeah, you're startled by it, but you still got that. You're young enough to where you got that adventurous factor, so you're like, whoa, you know, like check it out.
Oh yeah, when I was younger,
yeah.
I'd probably. I mean, I actually take that back. I don't know if I would have chased it. I might have been like, I don't know. There's a lot of probing I heard. Not sure.
Right? Yeah.
Sure.
Well, according to a couple of people, I now have the Golden Probe Award, so I don't know.
You have a Golden Probe Award?
Yeah, you know, you get inducted Golden Probe, Golden Probe Award. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I got one of those. I can't. Yeah, I don't. I had a missing time incident. I've told it on here before, so I'm not going to get back into it. But yeah, so yeah, there's a good chance.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like a tornado. I'd like to see a tornado from way far away. Maybe I could handle a UFO from like way far, like abducting somebody else, or maybe some cows in a pasture. Like hide behind a tree and witness that shit.
Right.
I don't want it up close.
No, well, so that is kind of like if you break it down, I guess that is one of the more safer things you think about a UFO, because you're seeing it from a distance. Like even if it's within, a few blocks away and, a couple hundred, maybe 300-400 feet in the air, it's still in your nugget, it's like that's far away. But
it's
like
not.
if it came down to like a creature, right? Like a dog man or a mothman or something like that. The only way you're going to see it is if it's really freaking close. Like it's got to be within, 50 to 100 feet or so. You'd be like, what is that? And by the time you can identify it, you're within catching distance. Like it only has to take 4 or 5 steps.
They move so dang fast.
Yeah.
UFOs, like even though I think it's far away, it's a false sense of security, I'm sure. But there go my lights. If it could maybe be preoccupied with something else, and I'm still not convinced that UFOs are doing the cattle abductions. I think that's the government.
Yeah.
I think it's the government with the cattle mutilations and the cattle abductions.
Even the old ones, like the mid to late 40s and all that.
Why not? They got to test their shit out. Just because we didn't know about it doesn't mean that it wasn't advanced at the time. Like we're 20 years at least behind what the government's showing.
This is true.
At least. Yeah.
At least. So yeah, why not?
What
or maybe okay, so I also think that they probably have live specimens of various, intergalactic ethnicity, and maybe the first few were legitimate, UFO experiments, and the government's like, well, what's this about? They explain what they're doing, and the government's like, well, it's a good idea, let's do that, and then we'll blame it on you.
Right. Yeah, reverse engineer it, and then you got the perfect alibi.
Yeah,
and then when people see it, you go, you're crazy.
Nobody's gonna believe you.
Yeah.
So but I do think it's our government, because I've read so many and heard so many accounts of ranchers who see like it, not necessarily UFOs, but like even government helicopters kind of scout in the area prior to mutilations or the discovery of mutilations. And I really do think that it's our government just doing experiments and using the UFO thing to allow the public to think that's what's going on.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't kick that one out of bed. So what do y'all know much about Aleister Crowley?
I do know some.
So this is kind of a weird one, and if anyone gets a wild hair, do some digging on this one, because there's this whole theory that, because you know how like the UFO thing hit big in 45 and all that, you know, with Roswell and the whole 9 yards. But there's this theory that talks about right before then. So it was Aleister Crowley. What was that cat's name? He worked for Jet Propulsions. He ended up blowing himself up.
What?
Jack Parsons.
Okay.
Parsons. And so it goes, him and Jack Parsons and this chick were doing like ritualistic magic and opening portals, you know, but he ended up losing control and he couldn't shut him back down. And he was talking to this this entity. Yeah, you're right, Red Tips. Jimmy Page did buy the house. But that he was talking to this entity called Lamb, Lam. And if you look at like his drawings of Lamb, it's a freaking, but this is, you got to remember, this is pre little gray men type, you know, was before like anybody spotted the grays, you know what I mean? But it was, that's the exact big bulbous head, big eyes, no nose, little bitty mouth, like, and he was drawing this thing and talking to it, and it was telling him how to open up, you know, portals to different dimensions. And so, yeah, so it's kind of like one of those things where he opened up a rip in either time and space or interdimensional travel or whatever. And then right after that became the big alien surge. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's pretty cool. And
CERN 2.
CERN 2. Yep, exactly. Just with black magic and stuff.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so if any of the, you know, people in the chat, if you haven't heard about it, yeah, check it out. Go download that one. It's pretty cool.
You have to be so careful when you're doing that stuff, because you can open things you don't know how to close it. You think you know, no guarantees. Maybe something's giving you information because it doesn't want it closed. You know,
right?
You got to be so careful. Like, don't call up what you can't put down. That's not just spirits.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I agree. Yeah, go call them to gnomes and fairies and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't want to mess it up. Like,
yeah,
you know, what if something happens and you can't close
right
whatever door you opened or whatever? I mean, yeah, spirit that you conjured. That's really freaky to me, is conjuring something.
Yep. There's a wall there for a reason.
You can't control it.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
What you looking at, Tex? He's researching.
Mm-hmm. I can see it in his eyes. And in the beard.
And the glasses.
I watched a movie on Breezy's recommendation the other night.
Oh.
Which one?
Strange Darling.
Oh, how'd you like it?
I liked it.
That chick did an absolutely great acting job. I mean,
yeah,
she acted that thing out great. Like, no arguments and no, I could tell she's BSing. Like, I don't know if she's a method actor or what, but she nailed it.
Yeah, if you like serial killer type things, yeah, good movie.
Yeah, with a twist. Yeah.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, you gotta check it out, Mike. It's a good one.
Hold again.
Strange Darling.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. Oh, I was gonna ask you, what was the name of the freaking movie? It should be out by now, that we were talking about back in a few months ago, and it's like the Robert Johnson thing. Kind of like the Robert Johnson mixed with the vampires, or I forgot.
Oh, yeah, that's set in the 20s.
Yeah. Because that should be out like.
It's not out yet. I think it comes out in June or July.
I thought it was like April, like mid-April.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. But I forgot the name of it, so I couldn't. I'm like, Robert Johnson vampires, and my phone's like, you're stupid. And I was like, well, yeah, Sinners. But still, Sinners. That's what.
Sinners. Let's see, when is that coming out?
That new werewolf movie should be out, I think.
Yeah.
So it actually comes out tomorrow.
Oh. Which one?
Yep. Sinners.
Oh.
Is released in the United States April 18th, 2025.
Cool.
Man, I'm going to see that because that thing looks so good. And it's actually going to tie in nicely to a book that I'm going to do for book club. Because I'm going to start book club. And anybody who wants to join, I'm going to tell you what book we're going to be doing, and I'm going to tell you when to join me and which chapters to read.
Yeah, dope.
That sounds like school.
Just like doing a podcast.
Yeah.
But you're a responsible podcaster. Clearly, I'm not, because right. I'll roll in here like, no, what are we going to talk about?
I watched the new version, the newest version, the series, The Stand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The one that followed the book pretty well.
Yeah. Wasn't bad.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I had a few qualms with it, but it wasn't too bad.
I thought, because it came out like during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hilarious. Because, I will say that is the one book by Stephen King that I couldn't read because it was way too probable. Back in the day, I was like, this could totally happen. I want outlandish things that, maybe that could happen. This is no, 100% that could totally happen.
Yeah, a killer car that fixes itself and then runs people down.
Or sometimes they come back, spirits haunting this particular stretch of.
What was the one about the aliens and the fungus and
Tommy knockers?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Oh,
the one in Creepshow?
No.
No, it was it's not Cabin in the Woods, but it's
Is it a king?
Yeah, because I know it and I broke it down. I was like, yeah, he went out to a cabin, ate something bad, got the squirts, and that's how he came up with. Because all of his books, you can kind of see what was going down. Like Monkey Shines, that was right after he got hit by the car, and, and all that.
Kingdom
so I'm
Hospital, too. Have
you seen? Yeah,
Hostel? Kingdom Hospital.
Oh. No, I have not.
It was a mini series, and he wrote that while he was recovering after he got hit by the car, and it's clearly paralleling because the main character gets hit by a car.
Yeah.
But what?
Dreamcatcher. Thank you, Two Shadows.
Yeah.
Oh, what did he call them? Shit weasels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like out of all of them, I still feel like The Stand is just the virus, right? The main.
Oh yeah, no doubt. But The Stand is my favorite Stephen King book.
I stopped reading King after Desperation because I didn't after Needful Things. I didn't like the ending of Castle Rock. Because that was the last book of Castle Rock, and I don't know, it just kind of always kept me in that world. So Yeah, once I read Desperation, and then I was like, all right,
I haven't read
King
that
on
many
the shelf.
books. I read Christine Cujo,
Mm-hmm.
The Stand.
Do you read Carrie?
Haven't read Carrie.
Carrie's a good one.
Did you read his short stories like Night Shift? Night Shift was my favorite for the longest time.
Night Shift is dope. I can't front.
I like Salem's Lot. I do like Salem's Lot. It's a good book.
Do you know the reason why some of them are called Jerusalem's Lot and the others are called Salem's Lot? Because I've always wondered that.
They explain it. They explain it. And gosh, I'm trying to remember. It had something to do.
The Mist is really good. Yeah.
Yeah, The Mist is good, but it's a short story inside of, I think, Night Shift, or one of them. But and that was like one of my favorite short stories from him was The Mist. And it does not end like the movie. It has an like you decide how it ends kind of ending. Like, what do you think happened? But Jerusalem's Lot, the way they explain it has something to do with a pig. Like this old, it's not like spooky necessarily. It has something to do with.
Oh, so it is a totally different. Because I always thought it was just like maybe like the first draft or whatever, like generation 1 of the book, and then Salem's Lot was different.
No. Salem's Lot, Jerusalem's Lot was. I'm trying to remember because it's been a hot minute since I read it. Jerusalem's Lot is what the locals called it. And they got the name Jerusalem's Lot from like a farmer's pig that got killed or something.
Okay.
But it's not like a supernatural thing. It's just like a scandalous thing that happened at the time. And I don't remember if the pig's name was Jerusalem. I don't remember, but it had something to do with a farmer and a pig.
Hatfield McCoy's type stuff. Yeah.
Misery was good.
Misery.
Misery's a good read. She is a lot more brutal in the book than she ever thought about being in the movie.
They probably couldn't do that stuff in the movies.
Yeah, the ankle thing was a lot worse in the book. We'll just put it that way. As far as I remember, because I read all the old ones as much as I could. So like I do, because Cujo was my first when I was in like probably like 3rd grade. My mom had Cujo and Christine, and I read both of those, and I was hooked, absolutely hooked. And then as I got older, a buddy of mine, he was really, really hooked on Stephen King, still is. And he just like give me books that he'd already read. So then I went through, the ton of Tommy Knockers and all that. Tommy Knockers is a really good one.
I don't think I read the Tommy Knockers.
Tommy Knockers and the Langoliers. Those 2 books, like, yeah. I can't
remember which one it was. I read one of them about these sky monsters.
That's the Langoliers.
That's the Langoliers, yeah. Where they get stuck on the plane, yeah.
Yeah, they land in a different time, like.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. It's probably Christine was my first King book that I read. Because I used to read him. He was my favorite author when I was like.
Did y'all like the remake of Carrie?
Huh?
Did y'all like the remake of Carrie?
No.
It was that.
Yeah,
that girl that plays Carrie in that movie is one of my favorite actresses.
Oh, she's great. I like her.
She was fantastic in I can't remember. See, there's the Japanese version of this movie and then the Americanized version, and she's in the Americanized version, of course, but I can't remember.
The Ring?
No, it's called one of them's called Let the Right One In. The other one's called Let Me In.
Yeah. With the little vampire girl.
Yeah.
Yes. That's a good movie.
That is Both of those are good movies.
Yeah.
Both the foreign version and the American version.
Chloe Moritz.
That's where I first saw her, and I'm like, this girl is going to be awesome.
So Mid-South, I agree. Dean Koontz is a great writer. And I will tout the Odd Thomas series to anybody. It is like, I love the Odd Thomas series. Like, I will reread it and just reread it because I love it.
I still want some of the I want some of the Peter Benchley books to get to film. That's what I'd like to see. I mean, you've had that conversation.
Yeah, I want to read White Shark.
Yeah, that's a good read.
And I'm dying to read White Shark, but I don't have a lot of time to like sit and read. That's why I listen to audiobooks so much. And it's not available on audio.
What?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
I have scoured like Audible, like every different way it could be written, any like alternative titles it could have been published under, and it's just not there.
Man, that sucks.
I know. So not that it's a terrible thing, but I'm gonna have to get like a Kindle or a hard copy to read.
I heard they got the green light to start production on Blood Meridian, which I'm very interested to see how they pull that off, because I don't see how you could ever make that into a freaking movie. Like, I don't know if y'all heard of that or anything, but yeah, it's Cormac McCarthy. He also did what was that? What was the freaking movie? Tommy Lee Jones and the dude down in the desert, No Land for Old Men, or No Country for Old Men. Yeah, and The Road. He also did The Road, which was
that's brutal.
Yeah. And see, that's one of those things like you were talking about. It's like one of those things that could happen. Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah.
It's called The Road.
The Road, yeah.
There's a movie, and I mean, there's the book and the movie.
But Blood Meridian is just, there's so much in it that I don't know. Like, I don't even know how it almost have to be in our production. You know what I mean? Like, because the judge, the character alone is just absolutely brutal. Like, there is no.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that judge character is freaky.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Scary.
Yeah, I mean, he's like a 7 foot tall giant with no hair and a baby's face with little hands and little feet. That sadistic as all get out. And basically the way I took it, because he does ritualistic stuff in it where like they're making the bullets and all that, and he's making like the mud that has to go, that has to be dipped in, because that's the only thing that's going to save him. So he's more like, and he talks about how he never eats, he never sleeps, and he says that he can't be killed, so it's almost like the devil on earth type of a thing, and he does the devil's work, that's for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see how that's going to play out, because it's they're going to either have to zip it up so much that it's going to suck, or they're going to have to figure out.
They're going to have to. I don't know how they're going to. They're going to have to tone it down a little bit.
That's an understatement. Yeah.
So, okay, I'm going to jump into this book, my book recommendation for this week, that I actually finished both these books that we'll talk about. But the one that I'm recommending, and Tex, I think you'd like it because it has to do with mermaids and sirens.
Ooh.
Is Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. So it starts off with a research vessel, right? And we call it a, research vessel. It's kind of following a faux documentary crew. Think like when Discovery, I think it was Discovery, was doing like the fake werewolf like documentaries, and You know, that kind of thing. They make it look like a legit documentary, but you know, it's not.
Right.
And they're doing like a mockumentary, but they're not telling you it's a mockumentary. They're just putting it out there to see who bites, right? So it's following a production research vessel that goes out near the Mariana Trench. And they are, on this particular mockumentary episode, looking for mermaids. And everybody on board goes missing. The ship is found abandoned with blood everywhere 6 weeks later. And part of like camera that's left behind, or a film canister, I mean, a camera that's left behind, shows what looks like a mermaid or several mermaids just tearing through the ship. So several years go by and a new operation is put together, actual scientific research operation. The owner of the network is trying to, you know, show that they care. They want to exploit this, of course, and it follows the story of the second vessel that goes out there to look for mermaids. And let me tell you that they find what they're looking for, and it is rough. It is rough. It does have a few instances of animals getting harmed. So if that's like a trigger thing for you, probably not a good book to read.
Right.
But it's got a decent amount of gore and horror in it. And if you are a fan of the ocean and potential creepy crawlies inside the ocean, then by all means, I think that this would be a great book for you to check out. Into the Drowning Deep.
Into the Drowning Deep.
Hell yeah. So if you're into that kind of thing, go check it out. And the other one, so the one I think I'm going to do book club for is a book called Those Across the River. And this is a werewolf book.
No way. Look at the cover.
Right? Why would I do that?
It's like the poster for The Howling. You would never guess.
I know, right? Well, it could be just mean dogs, right? Because those look kind of like timber wolf teeth. So it's an interesting take on a werewolf book. I will tell you that. It is set in the 1930s. And it's written in a manner that I haven't come upon in quite a while. It's very Steinbeck-ish I feel that it's very Steinbeck-ish in the writing style. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. And so I think for book club, we're going to be tackling this. So our next show, I'm going to carve out, what do we say, 10 minutes? 10 minutes towards the end of the show, and we will cover chapters 1 through 5 of this. There's several chapters. I mean, I might amp it up, but just to give everybody, since it's a new thing, we'll start slow. We'll just do 5 chapters of this, and then we'll discuss what was going on with it. It's available in print. It's available on Kindle. It's available on audio. And I would like to see what people think about it as we're going along.
Those Across the River.
Those Across the River. And, you know, the vampire movie that we were talking about, Sinners, takes place around the same time, 1930s South. This is 1930s South. I want to say it's very rural Georgia that this takes place in Those Across the River. So, werewolves, vampires, 1930s. Check it out. Check out the movie, start reading the book, and we'll chat you up about it next time.
Right on.
Yes, you will be graded. There's a pop quiz at the end of every show.
There is. Yeah, silver bullet. So if you get a chance, so that is another one of my favorite King books, Cycle of the Werewolf.
Cycle, yeah.
Cycle of the Werewolf. It is such a cool take on werewolves. It gives you the backstory of how the Reverend maybe became a vampire, how you think I'm not a vampire, a werewolf,
Right.
how you think he became a werewolf. And the illustrations in that book are insane. It's like a graphic novel tied into it.
Oh,
So
cool.
if you don't own it, or you really need to just do yourself a favor and try to find one of the original ones. But it is amazing. It's an amazing werewolf book, Cycle of the Werewolf.
Night, Mickey G.
Night, Mickey.
I'm right behind you, Mickey G.
Okay.
Awesome.
I got to keep up with a 7-year-old tomorrow at the zoo.
Woo-hoo! I get sitting.
Oh yeah, it's Good Friday. That's right. That means I got to remember not to leave my son at home when I leave for work.
My son's going to work with me.
Well, he's going to work with Jen at the gas station, but yeah, because I'm in my routine and my brain doesn't turn on until I'm, at least been at work for an
30
hour.
minutes down the road.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I'm going to have to make myself a note or something. Be like, remember, wake him up.
Don't leave him.
Right.
He'll
But then again,
fine.
In our day, yeah, shoot.
I was left alone much younger.
Yeah, exactly.
And the kidnapper didn't get me. Just saying.
Lock the door and don't open it for nobody. That's
yeah.
And don't burn the house down. Don't use the oven. You'll be fine.
I mean, no. Okay.
Right on.
I think we're good.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Got anything to say? Any closing statements? Any closing arguments?
No.
I got to figure out I've been tossing up a couple different ideas for tomorrow's show. I really want to get into these fake astronaut chicks that just went up, but I don't know if I'm going to do that because it's too easy.
Low hanging fruit, dude. Low hanging fruit.
Nice.
The door opening and all that. It's just so bad. I know if I was up there for a couple minutes, I would not be taking selfies. I'd be out the window, seeing the most amazing thing I ever saw. I'm not trying to take pictures of myself, but that's just me. But yeah, and I still want to touch down on the Egyptian column things that they found. And there was a whole thing, a video of it where the dude shows the blue water and all that. But with, like we've said before a million times, with AI and stuff like that, and special effects, the way they've gotten, who knows?
I just have a hard time with that.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
Because I've seen so many of literally the same video with different people in it. All of them claiming that it's that guy, and I'm like,
yeah. No, I agree. You can't. It's a DTA. Don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
At this point,
Well, cool. But check it out on the Breezy Speakeasy tomorrow night.
We'll do something fun either way.
Yeah, he'll have it planned out better than I plan mine out.
Don't quote me on that.
Okay, guys. So, in conclusion, start reading those Across the River so that we can talk about it, because it's a pretty cool book. You can read past 5 chapters. I don't care, but I'm going to talk about the first 5.
There you go.
Next week or whenever I show up again in your computer, TV, and phone screens. So, for Breezy and Tex and me, good night, everybody.
This is the future. Evolution.
The Crossing Realms Conference launches September 19th and 20th and will dock in Richmond, Missouri. This is already being called the event of the year, folks. With an unprecedented list of speakers and special guests, 2 days of cryptids, UFOs, and paranormal presentations, along with a celebrity-filled ghost hunt, meet and greet, gallery reading, vendors, and a film screening. This promises to be both educational and fun. Go to eventbrite.com to secure your tickets and vendor slots before they are all abducted. They're going fast.